Do you all like my new shirt? I love it. Not gonna lie to you. Freaking love this thing. I finally got Ben 10 merch. Finally! Finally! Anyways, let's get to the video. Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. It's Sunday. You know what that means? Of course it means we're here continuing the journey of Ben 10 Omniverse. This is Season 6, Episode 6. Of course, we'll not know the title until I get into the episode. Last week's episode, the big reveal. You guys were like saying, wait for the next episode, and here we were with the introduction of the Rooters and this new character who is an amalgamation character that fused himself using Kevin's powers with a brainstorm. And now he can read memories and apparently plant false memories because now we've retconned and changed some things, including Max never had Kevin's father as a partner in the Plumbers. Never happened. It was a false memory. And two, when he was in the Null Void, he was basically tricked and put basically a memory in his head from this Savantis or whatever. I think that's the character's name. Anyways, this fake memory of him watching the amalgamation kids that were created using Kevin's powers. Kevin's powers. Cannot talk. It's been a long day. I'm so tired. Anyways, moving on. Also, Kevin's actual origin and shit. Like, what's going on with that? There's a lot of, like, questions about that. Because at the end of the episode, he remembers what truly happened and not the fake memories. And he is now giving it to Argit to remember what happened to him. Because Argit was a part of these experiments as well. So I'm assuming Kevin's going to be going around to other people that were affected by all this and giving them their actual memories back versus the fake memories that were planted in. That's my guess. You guys were also commenting, and I understand, because there were like people saying that this is stupid, this is horrible. Some of you guys were also commenting saying, I'm really actually happy the way you're handling this, because this is definitely a hard pill to swallow in the Ben 10, continuity. It is. To me, it's a unique way of changing things. Right? Like, I understand they had different writers, they had different people involved with the shows that were all connected here. This is their way of retconning or changing what is known for certain things. It's a big moment. It's a big reveal. Does it necessarily change my overall thoughts about previously when we knew this stuff before it's not real or it's different than what we know? Not necessarily, because I still have the memories and enjoyment of all of what they've done. And yes, are they making changes? Like, it's going to happen. Like, I've been through them making changes to the Ben 10 continuity. Gwen, we all know about what they did with Gwen versus Classic to Alien Force. It's happened. It's happened. To me, this is at least a better way to approach it, in my opinion, at least in terms of a way they could handle a change. Is this character can legit do this? That's an ability he has. Is it lazy? Some people say, yeah, sure. To me, it's interesting, right? Because they could easily just say, well, that just never happened. Now they have a character that can, theoretically, with his powers, do it. That's just my thing. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. I don't know where we go from here. Don't know. But with Kevin at the end of the episode going to Argit, my guess is we're going to continue with that or some sort of connection and continuing that. So let's get into the episode, guys. Let's see what happens. Let's see what they do with this episode, guys. Let's go.
Thunder! Thunder! Thunder Pig!
That was a shot.
My name is Thunder Pig. You ain't my father.
My name was Thunder Pig.
Open.
I already captured you once today.
Oh my god.
We have to tell Ben now.
Just tell me already.
What?
Sensors picked up a strange and confusing reading. Something's entering Plumber HQ.
What the hell? What the fuck's happening? Ben 10. The what?
Just because you took out the pig.
Good to see you, Luli. I think it's...
Go to Area 51. What?
What did you two do with the only working skewomorph in existence?
Oh, that old thing.
You guys were at Area 51? With the
Apparently.
aliens?
Not exactly.
Well, they're aliens.
We were at Area 51.
We need to go find the skewomorph before it's too late.
Is anyone going to tell me why we have to get to Area 51?
Yeah. What's going on?
Ow. Sorry. Ow.
Oh my god.
Look how mature Luli is. She's already got her
Oh,
wisdom
they're, yeah.
teeth together.
Mm.
Of course,
Oh.
Blukic and I were only interested in Luli as a friend. But your planet was in grave danger.
Wait,
So
what?
our top cadet was chosen to perform a stealth mission.
I was entrusted with an experimental prototype vehicle. And first,
Okay.
Thinker Osmith and load this onto my ship. Don't touch anything. Don't
Don't.
even look at anything.
You know, Cadet Blukic.
This is gonna
we
go
are
wrong.
tech support. We could prep Luli's ship for her mission. I'll adjust the mirrors for her.
And I'll warm up the engines, and then I'll push this right here.
No.
Yep, they done fucked up. Yep. And they're gonna crash. Yep.
This is 1-0 on an intercept course with the unidentified flying object.
Copy that, Tennyson. Until further notice, the
Is that
target
Max?
considered hostile.
1-0 making visual contact.
Yep.
The unidentified flying object is a weather balloon.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh.
We're alive.
Yep. Uh-oh. Oh, interesting. It's like inside. Okay.
Those alien life forms may be small.
Wait,
They're
is it the guy
undoubtedly
from
more dangerous than they
from
look.
Ultimate Alien?
People of Earth, prepare
What?
for peace. Come, blood, let us bring
Who the hell is this?
You can bribe me. You can threaten me. You can even call me names. But
Yes.
I will not. Nay, I cannot tell you anything. You turned on the universal translator, Blukic.
Now he knows my name. You've gone and told him something.
The aliens haven't done anything wrong.
True.
You're already on thin ice, Tennyson. Thank you for coming, Professor. I want
Ooh.
you personally to take the lead in the alien investigation and dissection.
Dissection?
We're doomed.
Oh, that sucks.
Doomed.
The locks here are very primitive.
They're gone. Yep.
I'm beginning to suspect that this is not an escape pod.
It's not.
When did you get unearthly alien powers, Driba? I want some.
Yeah, when did you?
Easy, fellas.
It's so obvious.
We were chosen to make first contact.
Aye. Well, that's done.
People of Earth, your passport to paradisiacal peace and prosperity awaits. Blood, administer the peace.
Did I not notice that before? That's pretty cool, not gonna lie.
You'll soon be free of the chaos your species has sown.
Nope, not gonna do nothing.
Blood, respond with deadly peace.
Oh shit.
But I shall return one day and bring joy to this world. Whether
One
you like
day?
it or not.
If there's anything I can do,
The little robot's not gone.
Openings.
Of course it does. It's all true.
It's all
Mostly
true. Mostly
I
true.
can vouch for that.
Your grandpa managed to bury it, but it wasn't
it's still-
destroyed.
I figured it
because
wasn't.
somebody didn't complete the mission with.
Make way
And he's
for the
back.
return of Benevolon, and welcome an era of peace. I come in peace.
So what are these in black and white?
And joy.
What the hell?
A Galvant, sent by my old nemesis Asmith, no doubt.
Hold on, Grandpa.
Oh,
Vampires? In the daytime? In the desert?
Also kept in storage here all these years. Plus the skin.
Blukic, you're a genius.
No, I'm not. I mean,
holy crap. Oh,
Much better.
What you need is some peace. Here,
the static, that's kind of interesting. Oh,
Lost Ark. Nope.
Lost Ark.
You'll never find our flying saucer in here. We did it.
Okay,
We
go,
got
go.
the Fuel morph.
sweet, nurturing, beautiful peace.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Prepare to embrace everlasting peace.
Jesus, oh my
That's what I think it is.
Oh,
I see that this world has no desire for the simple joy of a peaceful.
Blah, blah, blah.
Did you hear the way Luli called us tech support? I'm gonna ask her to marry me.
Ahem.
And there you guys have it. And this was a strange episode of Ben 10 Omniverse. Then again, Ben 10 Omniverse as a whole has some weird storylines and weird episodes, so not too surprising. It is surprising, however, there was no continuation of the Rooters introduction last episode here. Like, there's no mention whatsoever. It was a Blukic and Driba focused episode, which we've had this in the past. This one at least was a little bit better, and there's a lot more going on, because I think the last one, it was like kind of just odd. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, this one has had more stuff going on. They introduced a new villain that was in the flashback when Blukic and Driba, of course, in typical fashion, overdid it in terms of, you know, getting all the ship set up because they're going to go to Earth. Well, Luli, this new character, is supposed to go to Earth, and there's a super secret weapon because there's a big threat happening. And it was this character who I'm going to call anti-Professor Paradox, because he looks like Professor Paradox a little bit, but he's in this black and white color, which is really strange, like a old cartoon style like design in terms of the color and everything, and this gigantic robot, right? And in the flashback, Driba and Blukic, they show up, and they're actually the freaking saucer or the UFO that lands. It takes the Area 51. Max, of course, is there, which is cool to see Max, a young Max in the show here, and for the plumbers, obviously, and they're basically being interrogated, all this kind of stuff, which we've seen that general before, and Ultimate Alien, of course, he's back here again. But there's a lot of stuff happening, but then this character shows up, and he's talking about peace. He keeps referring to, like, bringing peace and peace. Like, I don't know what that was, like, in terms of, like, why that was a certain, like, word that we just kept getting fixated on. I'm glad that Ben addressed it when he actually came face-to-face with him as forearms. Like, you keep saying that word. I don't think you understand what that word even means. Like, oh, I know what it means. Like, I don't think you do. Maybe where you come from, it means this, but peace here means you're not doing what you're doing right now. I figured as much the robot wasn't completely gone. The fact that the guy just left after the robot was sank under, like, you know, the freaking Earth, like, you would think that he would still stick around, but I guess his powers are tied and connected to the robot. I'm guessing because as soon as the robot was destroyed, and of course in present time with that device that, you know, Ben slammed into it when he punched it and it flew right and hit the robot, the guy was just pretty much done. It's like, okay, so we introduced a brand new villain who didn't get a lot of screen time, but it was interesting to see a new character besides Lulu, who I think was a nice little addition, because Blukic and Driba, they are odd characters. They're strange. They're always bickering at each other. And the fact that they even show when they were just like little tadpoles was funny to see that back and forth. Because that's when they first met. And they were already at each other's throats, basically. So it was funny to see that. Now, I'm glad that Ben and Max tagged along to Area 51 to see this version of Area 51. Because I was really worried, like, okay, this is going to be a focus episode between these two characters. Like, we're not going to see Max and Ben continue after a certain point. Like, it's just going to be them focused. Thankfully, not the case. No joke, Ben turning into vampire is probably the funniest thing that they did in this episode. Like, there were some pretty funny moments and just ridiculous, like, opening, I am Thunderpig. Like, dude, you don't have to say it every time, you don't have to introduce yourself every time I see you. I am Thunderpig. He says it again. That was funny. Some other little moments between Driba and, like, it was funny between them because they both of them, like, just ridiculous. But the vampire stuff was amazing. The background of him just, like, rolling, hopping around. It was so good. And Max had to get him out of vampire. Funny. I was going to think of something else. My mind just completely went blank. But my thought was, that is how you use comedy effectively in this show. Because there are times where there's use of, like, jokes or funny moments that is not really effective. It's, like, forced in at times. This is effective comedy in terms of, okay, we have the ability to turn into a vampire alien. He's out in the middle of the desert in the blazing sun. He turns into a vampire at this moment. Could he turn into a vampire any other time within the show where he's not in this situation, and would it be effective? Yes. But the fact that he turns into a vampire alien at the worst timing possible makes it even funnier, with some background humor of him, like, rolling around and freaking, like, panicking and going crazy and shit, spinning. It's pretty good. Because it just adds to the show and what it can do comedically. Because this show is more comedy. It's more, like, lighthearted in a sense. There are some serious moments within Omniverse, but I think that particular thing just really effectively works with an Omniverse. If this would have happened in, say, an Alien Force or Ultimate Alien, the more serious two shows within the continuity, I don't know if it would still have the same effect. It just wouldn't. But here it works so well, especially with all the chaos just happening throughout the entirety of the episode as well. It just adds to it. It's pretty damn good. Now, I am still kind of frustrated we didn't get any sort of continuation whatsoever of the Rooter stuff that was set up previously. Now, I'm watching the show in production order, so maybe in airing order, it would make more sense, but production order wise, you would think it would actually work better. That this would be a continuation. Hopefully next week's episode. Hoping. Because once you introduce all that craziness in last week's episode 5 of the season, that's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to get through. It definitely is a lot because the intro is a little bit longer than I normally do because I was discussing a lot of those things. So the fact that there's no mention, the fact that we're completely going like a sidetrack here, is just kind of odd. It is. But Omniverse does that. Omniverse literally at times will set up some really cool shit within an episode, and then we have a couple episodes where it has no connection, no tie-in to what the fuck you just saw that really set up some shit. It happens. It happens within these shows. It happened in pretty much on, I think all of the Ben 10 shows have done this, which makes sense because if you're just following a main through line point and that's all you're following, it could get kind of, I wouldn't say tiresome, but there wouldn't be any surprise. There wouldn't be any real opportunity to do more, right? In thinking of like, if you're following a certain storyline with, say, hypothetically Vilgax, and you're focusing episodes upon episodes upon episodes, back to back to back of just Vilgax, it could become tiresome just because you're not getting anything different. You're not getting potentially Dr. Animo. You're not getting potentially other villains like Zombozo, right? Just throwing out names of characters that maybe are not necessarily tied into Vilgax. So then if you're just focusing strictly on Vilgax's storyline and what's been established, it can get kind of tiresome, or the storylines can't be that is the word explorative? Like basically you can't explore and try something or do something that's a different kind of story because you're so focused on you only can do this. So even though I am kind of frustrated and it's odd that we have this whole setup and all this big reveals in last week's episode of the Rooters, Kevin, all this shit, experiments, the fact there was nothing here, it's frustrating. However, does this episode, I guess the question is this, does this episode need to exist within the continuity of Omniverse? Sure, because we introduced to another new character, but it is giving more of like some backstory to how both of these ridiculous characters, who are funny, sometimes they get a little annoying, but their introduction within Earth and how they got here, because there is no mention of these characters until you get to Omniverse. So they use this episode, yes, to introduce Luli, to introduce just, you know, more craziness and what happened when they got on the ship and overdid everything and then got to Earth, crash landed. There's a young Max. They're probably just showcasing, and we've seen other bits where they've done this where it's literally after the events of Classic, and then you see them like when they're still a young Ben within Omniverse here, but like continuity wise, they've been around for a long time. Back when young Max, before the plumbers were even a thing. This might have even been sparked to the start of the plumbers. So it's showcasing they've been around for a very long time, but there's been no mention, nothing until Omniverse. And now they're here. So is it necessary to showcase their origin? Sure. Maybe not production-wise right after the Rooter stuff, but I think it does make sense to have it. I don't think the placement is the right placement for it, production-wise. Maybe airing, it's before all the Rooter stuff, airing-wise, when they aired it on TV. But production order, it should not have been the next thing after Rooters. This should have been placed somewhere else within this season or somewhere else. Because realistically, this episode doesn't necessarily feel like it needs to be tied in to a specific season. It could be literally placed in anywhere. Because once you introduce these two characters, Blukic and Driba, you can place this episode wherever you want. It makes more sense the further you go along to do an origin kind of ish story in terms of how they got to Earth, but not necessarily season 6. It could have been season 5, season 4. It didn't happen, at least production-wise, till this season. So I don't know. Anyways, rambling at this point. I'm hopeful that next episode is going to be better in a sense of more maybe connective tissue. Even though I just said it's good to kind of step outside of the box in terms of like focusing on a story. But the Rooter stuff I'm so fascinated about, like what they're going to do and what they're doing with Kevin. I'm hoping we get something like that, or at least an overall maybe just better story next episode. This was decent, but it just felt so weird being here after what we just saw last week. Anyways, done rambling. What'd you guys think of this episode of Ben 10 Omniverse? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoy the reaction, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.